Hey my babies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Subscribe to the channel, girl. Become a part of the squad. If you guys are ready to get into this parallel part, slick back, twisted bun, then stay tuned. I'm starting by adding some leave-in conditioner to my hair and detangling just to prep and make my life easier to do this style. So I do like to add water, finger detangle with my brush before I braid it up and move on to my next step, which today is blow drying. I dried my hair in quadrants to get ready to grab my hot comb and my flat iron just so that I can straighten out the roots and also focus on the ends. I typically do not do this, but I wanted to try something different to get the flattest sleek ponytail slash bun that I could get. And I did use my hot tools on a moderate heat setting. I'm using my brush just to see what I have going on. Like I said, I just wanted to focus on the roots and the ends. It does not have to be super straight. This is going to be perfect for our next step. I'm creating my first vertical part out of 2. And I do use the arch of my eyebrows as a little bit of a guide as to where I do want to start the parts and then finish off by making them as straight as I can. Once I have a section that I am happy with, I'm going to put the rest of my hair back and just kind of comb it into place and see if I like it and if I need to realign these parts. I was good with what I had, so I put that section up, and now I'm just mapping out my baby hairs before I get ready to grab my first section that I will be slicking down. I'm going to use my G2b clear gel today, and I am just going to take a little bit at a time and add it to my roots and drag it down as far as it does meet my hand. And when I'm ready, I will grab my brush and brush it in and get everything as flat as I can. Then I'll dry it into place with my blow dryer. At about 50% dry, I will grab my hair tie and tie this section up. Then I'm going to grab my toothbrush and get out any remaining lumps or bumps and make sure that it's super flat before I dry it once again. I forgot to do this before I started slicking my hair, but I am going to section off the front from the back so I do not mix anything up. Now I'm going to grab my next section. I ended up doing 4 sections in total. Once it's all brushed into place, I'm going to grab my gel and add it to my roots. Use my brush to brush it on down. And once my hair is about 50% dry, I did go back in with a little bit more gel before I added my toothbrush to it, making sure that there are no lumps left over. Then I'm going to dry it into place. I'm now on my last section out of 4 in total. I did realize that I could add a little bit more hair from the front to the back, so that's exactly what I did. The less hair in the front to slick, the better, because it will help us just get it a little bit more flat, because we did more sections in the back than we will be doing in the front. But once everything is brushed down to my liking, I'm going to move forward with drying it and adding this last section to the rest of the previous sections that we've completed. This does make the last section for the back, so I'm just going to make sure it is brushed down, molding it into place, then drying it into place with my blow dryer. And this is what the back looks like when it is all done and every section is slicked down. Now we can move on to the front. And I'm really just going to do the same thing, except we only have 1 section to do here. I am going to kind of map it out and brush it in the way that I want it to lay. Once I know exactly how I am going to brush it, I'm adding my gel and just taking out my baby hair. Then I'm going to brush in a downward motion and then back. So I'm brushing downward and back, downward and back, because we do want it to have a little bit of a swoop effect. So that's what I'm gonna do, and then I'm just keeping an eye on my baby hair to make sure they don't get entangled with the rest, because that's just what I wanted for this style. So I am gonna dry this section into place. So I wanted to make sure the front was laid exactly how I wanted to before I grab my blow dryer and dry it into place. Now is the time to add this section with the rest of them. I'm moving on to baby hair, you guys, and I was gonna go for a little bit more baby hair out, but when I pulled them out initially, I realized just how long my baby hairs are, to the point where they aren't really considered baby hair. So I opted to just take the minimal amount that I could take out versus having baby hairs that touched my eyebrow. So this is what I'm working with, but I actually like how it turned out because sometimes simplicity is key, y'all. So I went with this very simplistic, light kind of looking baby hairs, yeah, and I really enjoyed that look. So now I'm just drying everything into place before I move on to this parallel part. So this is what we're looking like. I've got my last section out of the hair tie and ready to go. So I am gonna brush it down to mimic the look that I'm going for. Then I'm gonna break it in half and work on one section at a time using the same steps, but I'm gonna go in on this part, you guys. So I am gonna brush it before I add any product and just make sure again that I'm mimicking the look that I want. Then I'm gonna add my gel and do lots and lots of brushing, and I'm gonna make sure that I do add some gel to the shaft because I want the back of this to look nice and sleek as well. We cannot ignore that part. So once that is all slicked down, I'm gonna dry it halfway, and when I'm happy with it, I'm gonna add the section to the rest of my ponytail. I'll pull it tight and make sure it's 100% dry before I move on to this very last section. I'm adding my gel, you guys, and I am gonna brush it using an inward motion just to make sure that I do not overlap the parts with my hair. So if you take notice, that is how I am brushing this section down, and just paying close attention to how laid I'm getting this. We don't want any bumps left behind, so I did grab my tiny toothbrush to get in the grooves, the nooks, the crannies, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna get this as sleek as possible. At this point, I did notice that one part was more visible than the other, so I just used my hands and my brushes to try and push it over just a little bit to my liking. And then once I was finally okay with it, I dried it into place. I'm adding this section to my hair once and for all, making sure just to brush everything down with my hands when I do so, making sure every angle of this hair tie is tight. And yes, I'm going back in with more gel and just about every hair tool I have sitting in front of me to make sure this statement piece right here is laid. I mean laid. Once that is dry, I'm going to prep my ponytail for this twisted bun. And what I decided to do today was 4 braids within my ponytail. Of course, you can do more or less depending on your hair length, your hair type, whatever suits you. But now that I am all finished, I can finally grab my braiding hair, and I'm going to use the rubber band that comes with it to secure it right over top of my hair tie that I previously secured to my hair. Then I'm going to surround my 4 braids with the braiding hair so that they are not visible to the human eye, okay? Checking that my base is secure and the braiding hair is not slipping, I will begin to twist. And now I'm going to create my first base. This is going to be the foundation of the twisted bun. Once that is in place, I'm going to keep twisting the braiding hair until it creates its own knot in the hair. Just like that right there. Now I'm going to continue to wrap and twist until it does the same exact thing. And just keeping in mind that I am creating my bun toward my head, so with each wrap I'm getting closer to my head, not further away. When I do complete this bun, I will use the sparse ends to wrap tightly and tuck it underneath. Any hairs out of place will get cut with my scissors or tucked with a bobby pin, and baby, voila. That is my hairstyle for today, you guys. If you did enjoy, give this video a like, leave your comments down below, and y'all already know, if you want to see more from me, because I got a whole lot more for you, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see y'all babies in the next one.